Hey team, good morning. What's up, traders? I'm gonna throw my overnight levels on here in just a second. Good morning, chat. Good morning, good morning. As you guys are logging on, make sure to hit that like button. I do have a Tradeify account to give you guys. Good morning, as you guys are logging in. What's up? Happy Thursday. All right, we got Asia low, London high, London low. London was a pretty rangy session. That was interesting. So my bounce levels really have not changed since yesterday because we're kind of still in this same box. So I'll extend these out. But it's the same spot we bounced yesterday and rejected yesterday. So until we get outside of that range, my levels don't really change. The template that I was using, it's a market session indicator. There's lots of them. I personally use Edgeful, which is a paid program, but there's lots. If you just come up here to indicators and type in like market sessions, there's a bunch that are free. And it basically just marks shades off like Asia, London, and New York. It's just a quicker way for me to mark levels. So, like I was saying, we're still kind of stuck in this range. The same possible rejection area at like 25, 450, 460s. And then if we get a drop, this would be a big drop all the way down to this level. That's like 300 points from here. So there's definitely some areas that we could sweep before that with London low, which is right at VWAP. I kind of like that. Point of control from yesterday is right at the regular trading hours, gap fill. And then Asia low, that would be a decent sweep. So if we get a pullback at the open, these are some decent bounce levels. And then a possible rejection up here at previous day high and this level that I've had marked off for a few days now. But yeah, it really was an ugly overnight session. No clear move outside of this range. So I don't like anything. And then on gold, same, it kind of looks the same, honestly. This is the short that I posted in Discord. I trailed out, I took some profits, and then it ended up hitting my trailing stop loss. So I'm not in that position anymore. But originally I was thinking it would come back down to this previous day low level. And it's kind of just been ranging in this channel all night, really. So that's kind of the story for the morning so far. Kind of a rangy day. In terms of news, we already had this morning, we had initial jobless claims at 8:30. That's done. We do have existing home sales at 10 o'clock. So there's a potential that we could kind of chop for the first 30 minutes or so of the open. But for me, I always like to tell you guys how it is. Honestly, I don't have any super clear bias or like super clear levels. So I'm going to be patient, see how the market opens, and watch for some possible reactions. But probably at least wait till the 15-minute opening range settles. And then if it's choppy and ugly, maybe even wait until after news. Good morning, chat. As you guys are logging in, make sure to hit that like button. Let's make some money today. Get your mind ready to be patient. Manage your risk. Follow your rules. Follow your plan. Preaching to myself and just letting you guys listen. All right, market's open in about 30 seconds. Let's see how it goes. Happy trading, friends. Jack Chin, over trading. I feel you on that. Sometimes, so this is something that I have done to help with overtrading, because to be totally transparent with you guys, it's something I struggle with too. I've more times than I can count on my fingers, I have had days where I've been super, super green, like more green than I even need to be. And then I come back and I trade and I turn it into a red day. Like, it's so dumb that we do that. So what I have done, and I'm a fitness coach. Like, I was a gym owner, nutrition and fitness coach. So my background is in that. So all of my metaphors have to do with like working out at the gym and eating healthy. But you have to make it inconvenient for you to trade again. So maybe you only have your browser on a certain computer. Maybe you like log out of everything and turn off your computer. So to trade again, you have to open your computer, turn on your computer, go up into the office. Like, all of that process takes 10 minutes and it's annoying. And in that 10-minute time period, maybe you can think logically and remember, oh, I don't want to trade anymore today. Like, I'm profitable. I'm going to walk away. That's what I told myself I'm going to do. I'm actually going to do that. So take the convenience out of it. Like, if you're trading on your phone and that's a problem, remove the app from your phone so you can't even place a trade. Or like, I don't know, just make it hard to trade, basically. Same thing I tell my nutrition clients. Like, if they're struggling with overeating or whatever, snacking, don't even bring those foods into the house. Make it inconvenient to eat ice cream. You have to go out to the store, buy ice cream. By the time you like get in the car and drive all the way there, maybe you can talk some sense into yourself. Same thing with trading. Oh, what was that? So yeah, hopefully that helps, Jack. So we did have a nice little bounce off of VWAP and that London low. But still kind of choppy so far. Start marking off our 15-minute range, even though we still have some time. Good morning, chat. Like I said, as you're logging in, if you haven't already, go hit that like button. Very indecisive first 5 minutes so far. This is an interesting open, you guys. Yeah, definitely looking like it could be waiting for news that comes out in about 25 minutes. It's still holding above VWAP, but if any of you are VWAP traders, you probably know this already. When VWAP is flat like this, it's not a super clear like direction indicator. It's started to level off really since 5 o'clock this morning or so. Pretty level. Anyone in the chat have a magic 8-ball and want to tell us where NQ is going? I think that's the only way anybody would know right now. It's going to go right. Oh, you're a genius. Wise words. How did you know? All right, it's breaking out of the top of this first 5-minute range. Let's see if it comes up to this London high and maybe sweeps that. But then right above that, we have this red box and previous day high that I've been watching. Super duper, your magic 8 ball is not very helpful, dude. I was looking for answers. Well, the answer, for me at least, is patience. Because this is ugly. Look at that barcode action right there. Beautiful. It's still holding above both view ops, honestly. I could see it potentially coming up to at least London high. Maybe even up to the 450s, 460s before possibly rejecting, or if the news comes out bullish, then just blasting off. We got about 4 minutes until our 15-minute range is set, and then we have news 15 minutes after that. So besides the fact that price action is choppy and ugly right now, those are some good reasons to stay patient and wait. Still hovering right there at that anchored VWAP level. Lots of sell orders at 615, like 25, 615. That's a long way up there. Oh, you're talking about QQQ. That makes sense. Yeah, this is an ugly mess. Definitely going to wait until that news comes out at 10 o'clock. One more minute until our opening range is set. There's a pretty big drop below VWAP. Let's see if this holds. Breaking out of that 15-minute opening range. This right here where we're at right now is the regular trading hours close. And yesterday's point of control. Starting to get heavy. Look at that 2-minute candle. I'm on the 2-minute time frame. That's a giant 2-minute candle. This red line right here is an anchored VWAP from the local low yesterday. Down here. So I use that just to kind of show who has control of the momentum. And it looks like it's bouncing so far, but that was a pretty bearish candle, so we definitely could get some continuation down. You watch every video, but your psychology is not improving. Well, thank you for watching my videos. I appreciate the support. A lot of it is time in the market, I think. Also, putting some of those things into practice. That's like saying that you've read every book, but you don't actually practice any of it. So are you actually doing the things that I recommend in the video? Like journaling and setting your rules and walking away or things like that. That's the biggest thing, is you got to put it into action. I'm testing out something on... Anyone having issues with Trade Evade again? This is weird. So annoying. Yeah, I just tried to place a limit order and then it froze and then it wouldn't let me remove it. Frustrating. News in 10 minutes. Trying to log out of my Trade Evade and log back in and see if that helps. These trading platform issues are really starting to get annoying. Between Project X a couple months ago and now Trade Evade. Jeez. Can we get something that actually works? The news is existing home sales. So it's not a huge one like CPI or PPI or something like that, but it should move things a little bit. News in 7 minutes. Let's see if we get a retest of really like 317-ish maybe, because that's where the VWAPs are kind of lining up. By the way, gold is still chopping in that same range that I've been watching since last night. Ridiculous. Yeah, old trader, I just don't know anything enough about other platforms. The idea of having to learn a new platform is kind of scary. Just uncomfortable, you know? Trading is hard enough. I've heard from people that rhythmic is the same thing. Like there's lag and freezing and all that stuff. So I don't know if there is one out there that is great. I know Project X has been better lately, but it still freezes with high volatility with gold and stuff. Although Top Step doesn't really let you trade it and Top Step's rules suck. So it's not worth it to get Project X for that. News in 5 minutes, looking to see obviously what happens with news, but if we get a retest of this 318-ish area and start to see sellers show back up, that could be a decent short idea right there. That's awesome, G-Man. Good for you. So the idea I'm kind of watching for is maybe a pullback to this level. If we get it, it might just dump without us or without me. I don't know. One of you might be in it. Do I actively watch order flow? I don't watch Bookmap. I do watch the time and sales. I have that up. So if there's a level where there's big orders, I do watch that. Carrie trades futures. I'm all up in this. Let's go. Where's Waffles when you need her? We need her to be spamming the chat for likes. Hit that like, you guys. We'll get it. We'll get it up to 100. If everyone in here hits the like button, plus we've had a couple people in and out, I'm sure we'll get to 100 soon. All right, we are coming down to Asia low right now. So this idea kind of doesn't work anymore. Let's see what happens at Asia low. The thing is, I would not be looking for a long bounce here unless it's like an obvious liquidity grab, volume supporting it, everything. The reason is ES is not even close to its Asia low. ES is still like 15 points away from its low, and that's a lot on ES. So I think we're going lower. Yeah, gold kind of broke out of its range and it's starting to drop too. My attention shifted away from the gold chart when I was trying to figure out this stupid trade of 8 thing going on. It never really gave us a retest of that opening range, the 15-minute opening range low. That's where I would have entered short. It really was just kind of choppy and then dumped. Didn't give us a great pullback opportunity. Part of it too was I was waiting for news, so it could have just been me being overly patient. Billy, good morning. I love your channel. Thank you. I appreciate that. Carrie, be excited about what you got, man. I know that's hard. I struggle with the same thing where I'm like, oh, I dropped another 50 points after I closed. I shoulda, woulda, coulda. You know, I could have made this much money. But it's not our job to catch the whole move. Be excited about the profit that you got. And there's always another trade. There's always another opportunity. Or another perspective is you can say I made X number of dollars in 30 minutes. And, you know, in trading, even a tiny trade, you could have made $200 or whatever. Let's say, for the sake of the example, that you made $200 in 30 minutes, $400 an hour. I'm guessing, unless you're like some high-end lawyer or brain surgeon, you probably don't make that much at your job. So it's pretty cool that we can work for 30 minutes and make that kind of money and walk away. Well, it did grab that Asia low. Starting to get bought back up. Maybe we will get that retest of the VWAPs. Let's see. Somewhere around this like 300-ish level. Perhaps. Maybe. Let's see. It's a pretty good strong bounce here. Let's see if we actually get some continuation though. Gonna be pretty good volume on it. 93 viewers. Well, let's go. If everybody goes and hits that like button, we'll get a giveaway going. Nope, not a good close on that candle for the bounce up to the level I was watching. Summer just passed your first evaluation. Let's go. Congrats. I know I've seen you in the chat here for a while. You've been working at it. Good for you. That's exciting. Next step, I would say, is take it slow. Like, don't try to rush to that payout. If it takes you a month, 2 months to trade that same account and finally get a payout, that's a huge win. Take it slow. Take note, Marvel, am I going long? No, I'm not. And I'll tell you why. I know this is a nice Asia low liquidity grab, but it's not giving me the sweep that I would have looked for. Also, I'm watching ES, and ES has not hit its Asia low. So there's a chance we could go lower. What I'm really looking for is a possible retest of this VWAP area and a short from there. I would like that a little bit better if we get it. But right now, I'm not in anything at the moment. Well, shoot. Is it just going to drop from there? I definitely could see this going lower, but I didn't want to enter short here. Looks like that's where it's headed, though. We are at a decent support zone that I've had marked off, and yesterday's value area low. So it might take a little bit of work to get through this level. But if it does break below, could be coming back down to this green box. We still have 20 minutes until our initial balance is set too, so we can wait for some trade ideas off of that. Do I typically hold for a certain level, or do I look for an engulfing candle to close? Good question. I usually scale out on my position because for me, I've talked about this before, so sorry if you've already heard me say this, but I've found the happy medium between like making sure to lock in profits, but also hold a runner so I don't have FOMO. Kind of like we talked about, like feeling like you're missing the move. So I'll always leave, even if it's just like one tiny little contract, I'll hold a runner for that home run target. But I'll scale out at local levels. I don't really watch like engulfing candles or anything like that. Entering a trade, yes, I watch for engulfing candles, but not for exiting necessarily. I'll just trail my stop loss. So like, for example, on this trade, let's say I entered up here somewhere. I probably would have scaled out at like the 15-minute opening range low, and then maybe either point of control or this anchored VWAP for the low of day. And then definitely would have scaled out at Asia low and maybe left one runner for my home run target of this green box. Like I would have done something along those lines, depending on how many contracts I had. Kind of looks like it's trying to hold here. Maybe move up. Ace Trades, good morning. How's it going? Yeah, I've seen people take profit at 15 or 20 points. I think that allows you to at least have a break-even trade. Because then you've locked in, depending on what your sizing is, you've locked in maybe $50, $60. And you can keep move your stop loss a little bit to where if it hits your stop loss, then you at least are in the green. It covers your commissions and fees. So it's kind of a free money trade. Getting a pretty good bounce here. It is holding that Asia low. I'd like to see what it does here at VWAP. I didn't want to risk a long here because it really doesn't look great for a long. Could get a bounce, but I don't want to be riding it. That was a pretty solid 5-minute candle. It almost engulfed that chop, but there wasn't a ton of volume on it, so it wasn't like super convincing. I'm not thinking this is a total reversal. Could just be a little pullback. You'll give me $100 to go long? You're going to pay for my stop loss if I'm wrong? Oh, G-Man's long on gold. I have it on the 15-minute chart right now. That was a nice 15-minute candle. And it's breaking above VWAP. Let's go gold. This next candle is coming right back into that chop. If we get a bounce to this general vicinity, 280s, 290s, I'll watch for a reaction to possibly take a short there. We got 58 likes, 86 people watching. Go hit that like, you guys. I got a Tradeify account to give away, you guys. Tradeify and Lucid are my two go-tos for the average trader. I mean, if you're like super advanced, taking payouts monthly, super consistent, there's better advanced accounts in my opinion. Like Alpha Futures is good for advanced traders. There's some other ones. But Tradeify and Lucid have super fair rules. I think they're some of the easier ones to get payouts on. And then, of course, the obvious of like they actually pay out, good customer service, all that stuff. So I know we have a lot of new traders in the chat. Those are the two that I would recommend. Can you get a 25K Lucid account? Yeah, you can go to my website, use code Krista, and buy one. You think this is Oprah? Where she's like, what does she say? You get a prize or you get a giveaway or something like that. I don't remember. I know I've seen memes of it. It's like everybody gets one. I wish. That'd be cool. And you get a prop account. Does Tradeify work with NinjaTrader? Yes. Yeah, you can use Ninja and Tradeivate with Tradeify. This is ugly, you guys. I need someone to get their magic 8-ball back out. Tell us where it's going. How's your long on gold doing, G-Man? Looks like momentum slowed a little bit. It's coming back down to VWAP. Let's see if it continues. It's got to bounce. Have I ever tried IBKR? Not sure I know what that is. Oh, Interactive Broker? No, I've never tried them. I know there's a couple people in our Discord that have talked about using them. So if you have a question or need a recommendation or whatever, you can post in our Discord and ask. But I've never used them. I'm watching gold. It's coming down and retesting VWAP. Gold is not moving though. I'm like, man, did my screen freeze? All right, I'm going to try a small long on gold. I'm going to flip it over to my gold screen that I've been watching. So that is the 15-minute chart. You can see that was a pretty strong candle. And then zooming in on the 5-minute, it came back down and retested VWAP. So let's see if we get some continuation. I'm going to put my stop loss below that candle at 79.9. And then target, I'm not going to do any sort of home run target, really. It's probably just going to stay somewhere in this range. What are you targeting, G-Man? If you go by the 820 gold open, that would be the high of the session, 5106. I just don't know how likely it is to get up there because it looks like it's slowing down. There's not a ton of momentum. Might be safer just to go for kind of the range, like 5100-ish. You're targeting the top, 5106.8, somewhere in there. Let's see if we actually get some volume behind this bounce. If this 5-minute candle closes strong, it might convince me a little bit more. But it's choppy. The volume just died. I only took 2 contracts on it, so I'm okay with letting it chop around a little bit. Six micros? You're too rich for my blood. Like a month ago when gold was not this crazy, I was trading 5 to 7-ish depending on the session. Still within, like, keeping my risk within that same $200. But now gold is so volatile that you have to have a bigger stop loss. It's more points. So I'm taking like 1 to 2, maybe 3 sometimes. There we go. Gold is a lot more fun to trade than NQ right now. NQ is ugly. Still just chopping. Still watching for it to maybe come up to this level, 280-ish. It's going nowhere. We do have our initial balance set, so we can watch for a return down to that IB low and see what happens there. When will they put futures 24/7? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. I think when they do futures 24/7, it's going to be even more important to make sure you like set aside some time away from the screens. I saw something too about how they're adding futures to the stock market. I just kind of read the headline, so I didn't know exactly what it was. But like you're going to be able to trade futures with stocks. So that means it's going to basically be a 23-hour stock trading opportunity. Is that right? Is that what that means? You're glad there's no trading futures for at least one day? Yeah, it's like a forced day off on Saturday where you can't even look at the charts. I was actually talking about this on one of my previous live streams, but I think it's important maybe every couple weeks to take a session off, like a New York session. If you typically trade the New York Open, don't even watch the New York Open on a random day when you feel like you need it. I think it's important to listen to your mental game. Like, are you actually there? Are you focused? Are you tip-top shape? Or are you tired? Or your mind is thinking about some other thing that you have going on in your life and you're not super focused. Like, you need a lot of focus to trade. And if something else is pulling your attention in another direction, that's not good. So take that time off if you need it. It's also, for me, it's refreshing. When I take a day where I purposely, like, a New York session where I don't even look at the New York Open, and then I come back, 3 hours later, and I'm like, what happened? It's refreshing for me. I come back the next day usually so much more focused. Yeah, I love learning too. And I think for me, honestly, I was addicted to trading. I was addicted to the charts. And it got to the point where I needed to take time away. I love it too. But I also need to train myself to stop over trading. And the whole reason I got into trading was the time freedom. Like, the dream of trading for me is to quote unquote work for 2 hours, maybe 3 hours, because you have to factor in like some charting time, marking off levels, journaling trades, back testing if that's your thing, like minimal work hours, and make good money and have the freedom to go do whatever you want. For me, that's time with my family. I want to be able to have like a stay-at-home mom schedule where I can volunteer with my kids at school and like coach my kids' basketball games and all that stuff, but still make really good money working part-time hours. So with that being my dream with trading, I had to remind myself that, okay, I need to actually close my computer and go enjoy life and not be addicted to the charts. Well, NQ ended up breaking out of that chop. There was a decent short opportunity here. I was waiting for it to come up to the session VWAP and point of control area, but it did reject the New York anchored VWAP. So that was a good short opportunity. I just didn't want to be in gold and NQ. But that was a good short idea. And I probably would have carried, just talking about scaling out, I would have scaled out at this IB low and then, like I said, left a runner to this green box. Green box and previous day low, those are possible bounce areas where I would probably look to take profit if I was in that short. Come on, gold, don't die on me. ES is coming down to its Asia low, but no signs of a bounce. This thing's dumping. All right, gang, we got 68 likes. Let's see if we can get it up to 100. We'll do a giveaway before I hop off. NQ definitely broke out of its initial balance. And it's still dumping. Dang. If you go to bed, look at the chart, and the first thing you do when you wake back up is look at the chart again, you're a little bit addicted. Yep. And I've definitely done that before. More than once. Which is part of the reason that I'm trying to set those barriers of like trading for a couple hours and then walking away. Would you say one of the most important parts of trading is collecting data on your model and knowing the win rate and refining? Yeah, I think that is an important part. I would say the most important or the hardest part is the psychology part. I think the strategy and the win rate and the data and the back testing and stuff, it's learned quicker than the psychology part. But I think the back testing and like knowing your stats, it helps with obviously improving and refining and knowing your win rate. But I also think it helps with the confidence in your setup and just being able to trade a little bit more robotically, I guess, for lack of a better word. Like knowing that my win rate on this strategy is 68%. And okay, I took a loss. No big deal. I can close up my charts with a small red day and I can come back tomorrow because 68% of the time I'm going to win. That also means 32% of the time I'm going to lose, and I'm okay with that. But if you're totally just guessing and you have no idea what your win rate is, then that small red loss can turn into, that spiral that we put ourselves through of like, I'm going to win it back. I'm going to try again. I'm a sucky trader. I'm terrible. Like all that stuff that if you're anything like me, the voices in your head kind of start to take you through that spiral. But if you have the data that shows your win rate, it's really easy to just be like, no big deal. I'll come back tomorrow and do it again. I got this. The data shows that I'll be okay if I stick to my plan. I am in a long on gold, but it's not really going anywhere. I've been in this trade for 30 minutes now? I feel like it's been forever. Well, NQ dumped. I was kind of hoping for a pullback retest of the initial balance low to enter a short and never did that. It's already coming all the way down to that green box where we bounced yesterday. So this is a higher time frame area that I've marked off. That's exactly where we bounced yesterday. So we could have a bounce at this previous day low, get a little liquidity sweep. I'm watching. Where are our initial balance breakout extensions? Let's see. That's annoying that it didn't save it. I need to save my template. So here is the 0.5 extension on the initial balance breakout. Let's see what Edgeful says in terms of stats. That green box showing up again. We have a big range today. Let's see what our IB range is. 0.89%. So Edgeful says that there is a 29% chance that we'll hit this extension down here. So there's the 0.4 extension right there where it's bouncing to the T. And Edgeful said there was a 52% chance it would hit that. Smooth operator, you want to see the Edgeful stats for ES? Yeah, I can do that. So this is NQ. I was looking at the initial balance breakout by level, and this is showing the percentage chance that it'll hit the extension. So I can do, if that's the report you were talking about, I can pull it up for ES too. Same thing. So 0.2, 75%, 0.3, 75, dang, 0.4, 75%. There's a good chance it's going to break out to the 0.6. I mean, 50% chance it'll go to the 0.6 extension. I'm still watching NQ too. I like, so a possible setup that's coming to mind that I might watch for is coming down to this previous day low and grabbing the liquidity, which usually means a rejection below it with a strong buy up. So if it comes down to this 0.5 extension and kind of bounces and looks like buyers are defending this previous day low level, that could be a decent long opportunity. What level is the 0.5 extension on ES? Let me see. So the 0.5, 1, 2, 3, 4, where is the 5? Let me pull it up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It already hit the 5. The 0.5 was 69.44. I think it said there was like a 50% chance it would hit the 0.6. Let's see what that is. Dang it, did I not save it? There we go. Let me go ahead and save this. All right, it's at the 0.6 right now. The 0.6 is 69.40. That's where it's going right there. Yep. So the full thing played out on ES, and it's still going lower. Yeah, I saved it as default. Yeah. That was annoying, G-Man, when I opened it up and realized that none of my stuff had saved. That was because I didn't save it. My bad. I guess I should watch this position and actually manage it a little bit. Trail my stop, see if it's going to keep going. Previous day low sweep might be the long to take. That's what I'm watching on NQ. I see lots of confluence. It's kind of starting to slow down. That big dump is starting to settle a little bit, perhaps. We have previous day low. We have this higher time frame, high volume node that I've had here for days. And then the 0.5 extension is down there. So 25.45, 25.58, somewhere in this general vicinity. Right here. Let's see how it plays out. Do you pay for Edgeful and do you find it helpful? I do. So there is a fee. It's $49 a month, or they do have a discount if you pay for it for the year. And I do have a code. It's code Krista. If you would like to use that, support the channel. I appreciate it. But I do find it helpful. And the reason is kind of like I was talking about a couple minutes ago with backtesting and how you can have confidence in your setups if you know your stats really well. I think it helps with like a trade that I already would have taken. Like I trade the initial balance. So if I'm taking a breakout, it gives me a really clear data-backed target that I can target to. Like that thing that I was showing you, what was it? Like 64% of the time, it's going to hit the 0.3 extension. So 1, 2, 3, right there. You can take your first profit target at 25,100. And then maybe you can hold a runner to the 0.4 because 52% of the time, it's going to hit this level. So it really takes the emotion out of it, and you can have a little bit more confidence in the trades that you're taking. It also helps me with a bias. And obviously you don't want to have like a bias where you're not flexible. I think it's important to read the market still. But going back to the reports, let me go back to ES since that's what, or NQ since that's what I look at most. But the ones that I watch, for example, dang it, what did I do? I broke it. It keeps going back to ES. I'm going to have to reset my charts and stuff. But it tells me I don't want the gap fill. So like the opening candle continuation report. The opening candle, this is the first 60-minute candle, so the first hourly candle of the New York Open. If it's a red candle, then your short should be biased because 77% of the time we're going to end in a red session. So if you're constantly taking longs, then you're kind of going against the data. You're in the 23% pool. You should probably look for shorts if you want to stay in line with data. So those are just a couple examples of how I use it. But yes, it does help a lot. I use it mostly for the initial balance and the 15-minute opening range, but there's a ton of reports. Power hour, if you trade power hour. There's CPI, FOMC. There's like Fibonacci and pivot points right here. I've never even looked at those because I don't use those a whole lot. There's some ICT stuff in here. Fair value gaps. So there's tons of different reports that can just help you have a little bit more confidence in your setups and your targets because it's all backed by data. So hopefully that answers your question. Well, NQ hit that previous day low. Let's see if it actually sweeps and comes back up. ES is also hitting its previous day low at the exact same time. So if it's going to bounce and they both bounce, could be a good setup. That's what I'm watching right now. It's trying to hold. I'm going to scale in. So I only took 2 contracts on that first fill. If it continues to bounce, I'll add. That way it's just a little paper cut if it continues down. I'll cut it at 25, 30. See if it holds here. ES is trying to hold its previous day low too. Kind of settling there a little bit. No, I'm going to cut it. Yeah, Jackson, I just took 2 contracts on that and was going to add to it if we got confirmation on the hold, but it's not holding. Wow. Yeah, same thing, G-Man. I just noticed my trailing stop loss got hit too. Well, 25K, kind of a round psychological number, could bounce a little bit there. And then really the next like big support area is down here. I don't know if it has enough volume to dump all the way down today, but like 24,800, 24,780s, somewhere in there. What a heavy day, goodness. Watching gold though, it came back to VWAP. Let's see if it bounces again. Do I use tick charts or 5-second candle charts? No, I don't. NQ has been hard to trade today. There have not really been any clear entry points, in my opinion, for what I trade. Ever since that choppy consolidation right there, it just dropped. All right, we got 75 likes, you guys. What do you think? Can we get it up to 100? I'm going to try a long on gold again. Bouncing off of VWAP. 5083 is where I entered. So I'll show you guys on the chart what I was watching. Moved up above VWAP, came back down and bounced right here. And that was my reason for entering. Definitely have some more volume on this candle. How do you enter the giveaway? I'll put a form in the chat here in a little bit. What settings do I use for VWAP? I use the OHCL4. And then I have one is anchored at the evening open at the 6 p.m. open, and one is anchored at the New York open. That's why there were two lines there. The light blue one is the New York open, and the darker blue one is the overnight open. There is just no continuation on these candles. This is really frustrating. I didn't risk much on it. You can see my stop loss is tight. I think I'm going to lose like $50 if it hits my stop loss. It was a good setup, though. I mean, it bounced at VWAP, and there was volume behind that candle. There was volume on the bounce, but no continuation. Alrighty then. All right, NQ. Let me turn off this initial balance breakout indicator because it's going way below any of those extensions. We're below that 25K round psych number and continuing to drop. So like I said, 24.8, 24.780s. This green box right here, that's the next level I see. Craziness. Short question mark? What does that mean? Like, are you asking if you should enter a short? That's up to you. I personally would not enter a short here. At this point, in my opinion, you'd be chasing it. Because for me, and the way I set stop losses, my system for stop losses is to set it at like the previous wick high. So I would put it up here or at like a previous key level. So you could put it like above this high volume node or above this wick or even above previous day low. Wherever you put it, that's still a 100-point stop loss. And even if it comes all the way down here, that's barely over a 1-to-1 risk to reward. So, like I said, if it works for your system, go for it. I personally would not enter a short right here. I would wait for a pullback to get a better risk to reward. $84 likes, you guys. Let's see if we can get it up to 100. I'm going to start getting this form ready. Gold's getting heavy with that drop. Dang. Everything's dumping. Well, I say everything. I'm watching ES, NQ, and gold. I don't know what everything else is doing. The stuff I'm watching is dumping. What happened with gold? My goodness. Was that really just one seller? Or was there news? Is something going on? Dang. You guys seeing this? Holy cow. First time watching the stream, welcome. Yeah, that's a big candle. I like that reaction. Oh my goodness. That's intense. Wowza. What the F is happening? Same question. I don't know. Let me look at Financial Juice. Is there any red important news that just popped up? Or is someone just taking all their profits? I don't see anything. Good times. Everything is dumping. I mean, gold, that's just intense. But NQ, same thing. That's why I've had so much trouble trading it today, is there haven't really been any great pullbacks. It's just down. Let's see if this green box hits today. That would be my next bounce area. This chart's more entertaining. Let's watch this bad boy. Oh my goodness, it's still going. Whoa. What can you do? You want to get out of your short position? Close it? I don't know. I don't understand your question. Close your position. And it is still going. Jeez. All right. I'm done trading, you guys. Let's do something more fun. $49.43, that's your target. On gold, I have $48.80-ish is my next level. $48.80 on gold, and then 24,800-ish, a little bit lower on NQ. This is the kind of price action on gold that blows accounts. That's what I was talking about a couple minutes ago. Like 1 or 2 contracts, micro contracts, not even talking about minis. There's still a lot of risk on trades like that. All right, let me get this form ready and we'll do a giveaway. 96 likes. Oh, can we get 4 more? I'm going to post this in the chat anyway, and we'll do a giveaway anyway, but let's get 100 just because that's fun. And we got a new subscriber. Let's go. Alrighty. There's your giveaway form, you guys. Posted it in the chat. Click on there, put your name and info in there, and then I'll pull everyone's name off the form in a couple minutes, and we'll do a duck race. I haven't done one in a while, but a duck race is basically a randomized drawing, but instead of just spinning a wheel, you get to race a duck. It's a whole lot more fun than spinning a wheel, I promise you. If you've never done it before, you're in for a treat. We're also in for a treat watching this dump on gold. Jeez, this is exciting. Sampling 666. You've never made so much profit with an open position before. Your gut feeling keeps telling you to get out. Well, then get out. But what I would say is trail your stop loss. That's what I would do personally. If I was in this trade and I didn't have some sort of like consistency rule or something where I needed to get out at a certain profit target, I would just trail my stop loss super closely. And then I personally would probably take profit at this level at 48.80 because that's the next support level I have. But if you're already happy with your profit, like even if it comes back and hits your stop loss, you would probably still be happy with it. But at least you're guaranteed to lock in profits. So I would move to either the 1-minute chart or the 2-minute chart and just trail it at the close of every candle. So I would probably put my stop loss there right now. And then after this one closes, depending on where it closes, I would move it down a little bit more. When I'm in a position like this where it's just super fast moving in one direction like this, if I have multiple contracts, I'll scale out. If I don't have multiple contracts and I just have one runner left, I trail it closely to lock in those profits. That's what I would do. But everyone has a different system, so do what works for you. What's option 1 on the giveaway form? Did I mess something up? What do you mean option 1? Oh, there's a random question. The question is just question. And the only answer you can give is option 1. My bad. Ignore that. Sorry, guys. I got too excited and just published it too fast. What is happening to gold? That's a good question. I still don't see anything on, I don't see anything on Financial Juice. I don't know what's going on with gold. You got the right answer. Everybody wins. You're all going to get 100% on this test. The answer is option 1. All right. I'll leave it open for one more minute, gang. If you didn't hear me, there is a form in the chat. Click on that giveaway form, put in your name and your info, and we'll do a giveaway here in a little bit. 1 minute. That's my kind of test. The one that only has one answer and the teacher gives you the answer to the test. Good odds right there. I put the link in the chat one more time just in case someone wasn't paying attention when I said it earlier. By the way, you guys, if you are buying any prop firm accounts, use code Krista. I appreciate the support. Lucid and Tradeify, I think, are my top 2 favorites. I also trade with Trade Day because I love their daily payouts. Tradeify has daily payouts too. I think that they are a little bit easier. The benefit to Trade Day is that they have a bigger payout cap. They don't really have a payout cap, but Tradeify does. If you use the 50K account, it's a $1,000 payout cap per day, which is still more than enough when you copy five accounts. But I like Trade Day, and then Alpha Futures is really good too. So those are the 4 that I recommend. All right, you guys, last call. What do I think about what Top Step did? Ooh, this is a salty subject. Honestly, I stopped trading with Top Step 2 months ago, whenever they did the whole rug pull thing where they took Project X away from all the prop firms. I feel like that was a pretty shady thing to do. And I'm not a big fan of shady business practices. Like I'm not going to support a business who does things that I feel like are unethical. And I think from my perspective, that was a really crappy thing to do. So I stopped trading with them then. Since then, the most recent stuff is even more shady. Like I have people that are really profitable traders with Top Step, like the kind that, take max payouts every week times 5 accounts. So they're making a ton of money with Top Step, and they're getting their accounts frozen for random accusations of like hedging their accounts. And they're like, dude, I copy trade my accounts. Like, how can you say I'm hedging when all of them are in the exact identical position? So they froze them for like a week. And then one of them actually got all their XFA balances erased. Like they're doing some really shady stuff right now. So I do not like Top Step, to be honest. You opened up a whole can of worms with that one. Can you link your Lucid accounts to TradingView? Yes, you can. So if you go up here in the top right corner, you can't see that on my screen right now. Let me move this down a little bit so you can. So up here on the top right of my screen, you can see where it says trade. Click on that and then click Tradeivate and put your login information for your Top Step account, or not your Top Step account, your Lucid account in here, your Tradeivate login info. And then it'll be connected to your TradingView and you can place a trade in TradingView on your Lucid account. I don't know if Top Step is going to die. Honestly, I hope they don't, As much as I dislike them, I hope they don't, because I think that would scare a lot of people away from prop firms in general, because they're kind of known as like, quote unquote, the best, the grandfather of prop firms. So if they go down, then imagine the fear that that's going to put into the whole industry. And I think they're way too heavily funded to go down. I think what they're doing right now is protecting their profits. That's my take on the whole thing. They just need to recover some of their profits. All right. No more entries. What I'm going to do is grab everyone's name. I'm going to sort these real quick to make sure we don't have any duplicates. And then we'll do our giveaway. So we're doing a 50K Tradeify Select account. Someone asked me what giveaway we're doing. We got a couple duplicates in here, so I'm taking them off. Krista, am I trading live tomorrow? That's the plan. Can you give it away if you win? Sure. Some people are just here for the duck race. They just want a duck. All right, gang. Got everyone's names. Let me pull this over onto the screen so you guys can see it. Get some of these spaces out of here. Okay. Are you guys ready? Yep. 50K Select account. Tradeify. Let's go. Start. And they're off. Good luck, team. Oh, who's it gonna be? Pretty tight race right here. Everyone's too afraid to make a move just yet. Oh, Santa Claus duck is coming out hot. This is a tight race. Usually there's someone who's putting on the blasters right now. Everyone's pacing, saving their nitro boosters for the last minute. We only got 30 seconds left, guys. This is about your time. Somebody's got to paddle hard. Let's go. Come on, come on. Don't give up now. 15 seconds, guys. Finish strong. Oh. Summer H coming in hot. Kimmer, Summer, who's it going to be? Oh, Summer wins. Summer, are you in the chat? I know, it's always a bummer. There's some ducks that are like, it's like, man, I didn't even show up for the race. Like your name is off the screen somewhere. All right, Summer, send me a message in Discord and I'll get you your code for that. Tradeify Select 50K account. Congrats. Thanks for showing up, team. Someone in the chat asked, what about Apex? So my thoughts on Apex. I do have a code with Apex, full transparency. I don't trade with them though, and I'll tell you why. I think Apex is great for advanced traders. If you're a beginner trader, I would not recommend it because they have very tricky rules. Payouts with Apex are very, very hard. But if you're a profitable trader and you're like guaranteed, I shouldn't say guaranteed, like you're getting payouts regularly, the leverage that you can take on with Apex is powerful. I mean, you have 200 accounts that you can trade. So, sorry, not 200, 20. What was I saying? 20 accounts. That's a lot. So that's where people get those like 6-figure payouts because they're copy trading 20 accounts. But for a new person, I don't recommend Apex. For new people, I recommend Lucid and Tradeify because they're easier to get payouts. Lucid, I think, has a little bit a one-up on Tradeify just because it doesn't have a monthly subscription fee, which means that you can take as long as you want to pass. But yeah, that's what I recommend. All right, gang. I got to hop off and go to a meeting. But Summer, send me a message in Discord and I'll get that account to you. It might not be until this afternoon when I actually reply to you. So don't be scared. I'm not ignoring you. I just might not get to my messages until later this evening. But thanks for hopping on, fam. I appreciate it. It's always fun to trade with you guys. And I will be back tomorrow. All right. Have a good one, guys. Oh, one more question. How about Take Profit Trader or My Funded Futures? Your thoughts on those? I do like My Funded Futures a lot, actually. Their legacy account is the one that I would recommend just because the Rapid has intraday trailing drawdown. I'm not a fan of that. I do have a code with My Funded Futures. I don't promote it as much just because I don't want to have to talk about like 7 different prop firms. I do like My Funded Futures. I don't love Take Profit Trader. I'll tell you why. The daily payouts are nice, but I don't like the fact that it changes to intraday trailing drawdown once you get to the funded stage. I think that's just a tricky rule that they put in there to make people fail their accounts, honestly, and I'm not a fan of that. But the biggest thing, even if you're okay with the intraday trailing drawdown, is their customer service absolutely sucks. There have been several instances where people like got double charged on their accounts or something funky happened and their customer service took weeks to get back to them and give them a refund. So I personally don't feel good about like giving you guys a code and recommending a prop firm that doesn't even give customer service. So that's my opinion. All right, guys, I got to run. I'll talk to you later. Hit me up in Discord if you do have more questions. I'll get back to you. And then see you guys tomorrow. Have a good one.